Today, I'm going to talk to you about AIDS in Africa and how it has affected millions and thousands of people worldwide. At the current AIDS death rate of one person every 13 seconds, the life expectancy in Africa will be about 27 years of age by 2020. That is 50 years less than the average life expectancy of an average American. This will have a tremendous economic impact on Africa. I researched this topic thoroughly and learned new things about AIDS that I didn't know about before I started this project. AIDS in Africa is affecting millions of people and has evolved into a continuous epidemic. Some people think AIDS isn't a problem. While it is true that 60% of the HIV cases are in Africa, some people underestimate the impact of AIDS beyond Africa. Some people don't think this is a huge issue because out of all the HIV positive victims, only 20 to 30% need medical treatment for AIDS. AIDS has caused many children to become orphans. The HIV/AIDS section of the Global Citizen Corps states that there is no cure to AIDS. No medical research has been found that stops AIDS or completely takes it away. As a result, adults die, leaving orphans behind. Africa Renewal magazine Michael Fleshman describes how the loss of parents bring extreme poverty, end to schooling, and bad reputation for the orphans. End to schooling. They don't have education, for example. Here in Sycamore, we study subjects such as math and science and language arts. Over there, they don't have that. So they don't learn the stuff we do. They don't have any access to that. The orphan's future generation will not be as self-sufficient due to lack of education and self-esteem. Extracted from a quote from Stephen Lewis in the same article from Michael Fleshman. Poverty is the single most issue leading to AIDS. That's right, it leads to everything. According to Anoop Shah's article concerning the impact of poverty of AIDS in Africa, poverty reduces access to basic services, leading to decreased health and becoming more susceptible to AIDS. For example, as in basic services, water. They don't have access to water. The water's dirty and they cannot drink or else they'll get infected. Here in school, you can just go to the water fountain and take a sip. Once the person is affected with AIDS, the treatment fees are unaffordable, resulting in deaths from not having access to the treatment. Discussed in the section Action by Other African Leaders of Anoop Shah's article. AIDS victims are no longer able to have jobs, which leads to reduced income for themselves and their families. For example, they're in extreme poverty conditions. They don't have a job, so they can't supply their family with food for the long run. This was extracted from a quote from, this was found in the subpart, What is the link between poverty and AIDS, in the HIV/AIDS section of the Global Citizen Corps. The economy in Africa is affected negatively. The article by Robin Lustig, found in BBC News, explains that because of AIDS, labor is lost. Businesses lose workers, schools lose teachers, and farms lose laborers. Also, the healthcare system is compromised and collapsing. It is very hard and excruciating for the healthcare system and other organizations to distribute these medical needs for these AIDS victims properly. Found in The Impact of Poverty and AIDS in Africa by Anoop Shah. The gross domestic product, GDP, for example, and literacy ratings are decreasing due to lack of education and work, as shown in the epidemic map of AIDS in Africa.net. In conclusion, AIDS problems are not just in the area of health. They affect the economy, causing more poverty and orphans, and overall, these are just some problems of many related to AIDS. AIDS has caused orphans, and orphans are a problem to society. Poverty is the single most issue in the spreading of AIDS. AIDS impacts all aspects of the economy. And again, at the current AIDS death rate of one person every 13 seconds, the life expectancy in Africa will be about 27 years of age by 2020. That's 50 years less than the life expectancy of any American. 50 years. 50 years. There is so much you can do in 50 years, and it's all gone. This is a tragic era, and this will have a tremendous economic impact on Africa. AIDS in Africa has affected millions of people and has evolved into a continuous epidemic. Thank you.